Occasional wife.
It's the masked enemy of all evil. That's Captain Night.
The 1960s were filled with unique TV shows that captured the hearts of audiences but have since faded into obscurity. Can you recall any of these classic TV series, from The Pruitts of Southampton to The Tycoon? Join us as we revisit these 25 forgotten TV shows from the 1960s everyone loved. The Pruitts of Southampton was a sitcom aired on ABC from 1966 to 1967.
You told me to bite him. It was just a little bat bite. I'm sure they have shots for it.
Phyllis Diller starred as Phyllis Pruitt, the head of a rich family who suddenly loses all their money. The show was based on the novel House Party by Patrick Dennis and aimed to make Diller a sitcom star, much like Lucille Ball. The cast included Gypsy Rose Lee, Richard Deacon, and John Astin. Despite the star power, the show didn't do well in the ratings, finishing 77th out of 91. Mid-season, it was renamed The Phyllis Diller Show to improve ratings, but it was canceled after 30 episodes. Phyllis Diller had a successful comedy career until she passed away in 2012. John Astin, known for playing Gomez Addams, continued to work in television and film. Was The Pruitts of Southampton's downfall a sign of changing TV tastes? Let's explore The New People's unique fate. The New People was a drama series aired on ABC from 1969 to 1970.
We should start a calendar.
That'll be easy. It's the year one.
Created by Larry Gordon and developed by Rod Serling, who was famous for The Twilight Zone, the show followed a group of college students who crash land on an uninhabited island that had been used for atomic bomb tests. Presumed dead by the outside world, they had to build a new society from scratch. The main cast included Tiffany Bowling as Susan Bradley, Zoe Hall as Bob Lee, and David Moses as Gene Washington. Despite its unique concept and involvement of well-known creators, the show needed more ratings. The 45-minute format was unusual then, possibly contributing to its downfall. After airing just 17 episodes, The New People was canceled. The show is remembered for its attempts to explore social issues and the counterculture movement. Hank was a comedy series aired on NBC from 1965 to 1966. The show starred Dick Kallman as Hank Dearborn, a young man who couldn't afford college tuition and decided to sneak into classes by pretending to be absent students. Linda Foster played Doris Royal, Howard Street John played Dr. Lewis Royal, and Lloyd Corrigan played Professor McKillop. Despite its unique idea and humor, the show struggled with low ratings and was canceled after one season with 26 episodes. It is known for having one of the first true series finales, where Hank's secret is exposed, but he is given a full scholarship for his outstanding work. After the show ended, Dick Kallman continued acting in TV and theater until he died in 1980. Linda Foster, Howard Street, John and Lloyd Corrigan also kept working in the entertainment industry. Run for Your Life was a drama series aired on NBC from 1965 to 1968.
Are you trying to change the deal you had with Judge Haynes?
The man you're looking for in that hell is probably dead.
The show starred Ben Gazzara as Paul Bryan, a successful lawyer who is told he has a terminal illness and only a short time to live. Wanting to make the most of his remaining time, Paul decides to travel and meet new people to experience life fully. The series was created by Roy Huggins, who was known for creating The Fugitive. Despite its interesting concept, Run for Your Life had moderate popularity and became less famous than other shows of its time. It ran for 3 seasons, producing 86 episodes. Ben Gazzara's acting was highly praised, and he continued his career until he died in 2012. The show ended in 1968 due to falling ratings and the end of its storyline. How did a superhero parody struggle to find success in 1967? Let's explore Captain Nice's short-lived journey next. Captain Nice was a superhero parody show aired on NBC from January to August 1967.
It's the man who flies like an eagle.
It's the man with the muscles of lead.
It's the masked enemy of all evil. That's Captain Nice.
It starred William Daniels as Carter Nash, a quiet police chemist who becomes the clumsy superhero Captain Nice after drinking a special formula. His overbearing mother, played by Alice Ghostly, makes his costume and pushes him to fight crime. The cast included Ann Prentice as Sergeant Candy Kane, Carter's love interest. Despite its comedic approach to the superhero genre, Captain Nice failed to attract a large audience. Created by Buck Henry, who co-created Get Smart, the show could have achieved a different success. It aired alongside popular shows like The Lucy Show and The Rat Patrol, which hurt its ratings. After just 15 episodes, the show was canceled. William Daniels later became known for roles in Knight Rider and Boy Meets World, while Alice Ghostly found fame in Bewitched and Designing Women. He and She was a sitcom aired on CBS from 1967 to 1968. It starred married couple Richard Benjamin and Paula Prentice as Dick and Paula Hollister, a cartoonist and his social worker wife living in New York City. The show also featured Jack Cassidy as Oscar North, a self-centered actor who portrayed the superhero in Dick's comic strip. Despite its smart writing and sharp humor, the show struggled with ratings and was canceled after only one season, with 26 episodes. It was ahead of its time and later influenced successful sitcoms like The Mary Tyler Moore Show, which then won an Emmy for Outstanding Writing in a Comedy Series. Afterward, Richard Benjamin had a successful career in film and television, while Paula Prentice continued acting. Jack Cassidy continued to act until he died in 1976. The Tammy Grimes Show was a comedy that aired on ABC in 1966. It starred Broadway actress Tammy Grimes as Tammy Ward, a rich heiress who loved spending money. The cast also included Dick Sargent as her twin brother Terrence, Hiram Sherman as their cheap Uncle Simon, and Maudie Prickett as the nosy housekeeper. Despite a strong cast, the show failed to attract viewers and received poor reviews. It was canceled after only 4 episodes, making it one of the shortest-running primetime series. The Dating Game replaced the show. After the show ended, Tammy Grimes returned to her successful career on stage, continuing to act until she passed away in 2016. Dick Sargent became well known for his role as Darren Stevens on Bewitched. Occasional Wife was a sitcom aired on NBC from 1966 to 1967.
Greta, you have given me the solution to my problem. A make-believe wife. That's the answer for my boss. I want you to be my wife. Occasionally.
It starred Michael Callan as Peter Christopher, a bachelor who hires Greta Patterson, played by Patricia Hardy, to pretend to be his wife so he can get promoted at work. The show also featured Jack Collins as Peter's boss, Max Brahms, and Brian O'Byrne as the man in the middle, a neighbor who watches their antics. The show had an interesting concept and performed well at first, ranking at number 18 in the Nielsen ratings, tied with The Man from UNCLE. Despite its strong start, it struggled to compete with other popular shows like The Red Skelton Show and The Invaders. After 1 season and 30 episodes, the show was canceled. Michael Callan and Patricia Hardy continued acting in film and television. Could a talking car steal the spotlight? Let's take a fun ride through My Mother the Car. My Mother the Car was a quirky comedy aired on NBC from 1965 to 1966.
Davy, you really heard something. It's me. But just don't sit there with your mouth hanging open. Say hello.
Hello, Mother.
It starred Jerry Van Dyke as David Crabtree, an attorney who finds out that his dead mother, voiced by Ann Sothern, has come back as a 1928 Porter car. The car talks to David on the radio, which leads to many funny and strange situations. Despite its strange idea, the show struggled with low ratings and was canceled after just one season, with 30 episodes. Critics didn't like the show, and it is considered one of the worst TV shows ever. Over time, though, it gained a small but dedicated fan base. Jerry Van Dyke went on to star in the successful sitcom Coach, and Ann Sothern continued acting in TV and movies until retiring. The Immortal was a science fiction TV series aired on ABC from 1969 to 1971.
Ben Richards will live longer than anyone has ever lived. But a transfusion to the wrong man could make him a prisoner for all time.
Christopher George played Ben Richards, a car test driver with a special blood chemistry that made him immune to diseases and aging, making him immortal. The series was based on James Gunn's novel The Immortals. The story follows Ben, who is chased by rich people who want to use his blood to live longer. This led to many adventures as Ben tried to escape. Don Knight played one of the villains, Fletcher, and Barry Sullivan played Jordan Braddock, a billionaire trying to catch Ben. Despite its unique concept, the show struggled with low ratings and was canceled after 15 episodes. Christopher George had a successful acting career before passing away in 1983. The Good Guys was a comedy show aired on CBS from 1968 to 1970.
Well, they'll never find it. Ho, ho, ho! Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Okay.
It starred Bob Denver as Rufus Butterworth, a cab driver, and Herb Edelman as Bert Gramus, who owned a diner. The show focused on their funny attempts to run the diner, usually involving schemes to get rich quickly, which always failed. Joyce Van Patten played Claudia, Bert's wife, who was supportive through all the chaos. Despite its interesting premise and talented cast, the show could have done better in ratings and made it into the top 30 shows. It was canceled after 2 seasons, with a total of 42 episodes. The show had a memorable theme song by Jerry Fielding. After the show ended, Bob Denver continued his career, most famous for playing Gilligan on Gilligan's Island. Herb Edelman went on to appear in many other TV shows and movies, including The Golden Girls. The Debbie Reynolds Show was a sitcom aired on NBC from 1969 to 1970. It featured the famous actress Debbie Reynolds as Debbie Thompson, a housewife in a suburban neighborhood who dreams of becoming a newspaper reporter. Her husband, Jim Thompson, was portrayed by Don Chastain as a sports writer for the Los Angeles Sun. The show also starred Tom Bosley as Bob Landers, Debbie's brother-in-law, and Patricia Smith as her sister, Charlotte Landers. Despite Debbie Reynolds' fame, the show struggled to attract viewers and was canceled after just 1 season with 26 episodes. Created by Jess Oppenheimer, who co-created I Love Lucy, it aimed for a similar comedic style but didn't achieve the same success. After the show ended, Debbie Reynolds continued acting in film and television until she died in 2016. The Debbie Reynolds Show struggled to find its audience, but what happened to other sitcoms with a similar fate? Let's explore Love on a Rooftop next. Love on a Rooftop was a romantic comedy aired on ABC from 1966 to 1967.
Dave, come and sit down. I've got something to tell you. I have a funny feeling there's going to be a stork on our rooftop.
It starred Judy Carn as Julie Willis, an art student, and Pete Duell as Dave Willis, an apprentice architect. The show followed their lives as newlyweds living in a small rooftop apartment in San Francisco, managing a modest income while dealing with Julie's wealthy and interfering father. Despite the show's charming concept and positive reviews, it struggled with low ratings and was canceled after only 1 season, with 30 episodes. The series was praised for its humor and the chemistry between the lead actors, but it couldn't compete with other popular shows of the time. After the show ended, Judy Carn gained fame on Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, and Pete Duell starred in Alias Smith and Jones before his tragic death in 1971. Coronet Blue was a mysterious drama aired on CBS from May to September 1967.
You run from place to place and town to town trying to find out who you are, and the answer may be as simple as a tune by Mozart.
The show starred Frank Converse as Michael Alden, a man who loses his memory and is trying to uncover his true identity after being left for dead by unknown attackers. His only clue is the phrase "Coronet Blue," which he recalls when he wakes up. The series, created by Larry Cohen, blended adventure and suspense as Alden faced dangers while searching for answers. Despite its interesting plot, the show struggled with ratings and was canceled after one season, with 13 episodes, 2 of which were never aired. Over time, it gained a cult following. Converse appeared in other TV shows and films like NYPD and Movin' On. Mr. Terrific was a superhero comedy show that aired on CBS from January to May 1967. It starred Stephen Strimple as Stanley Beamish, a quiet gas station worker who gains superpowers by taking a special pill. This pill gives him the strength of 1,000 men and the ability to fly briefly. The show also featured Dick Gautier as Stanley's friend, Hal Walters, and John MacGyver as Barton J. Reed, his contact with the government. Despite its unique concept and humor, the show struggled with low ratings and was canceled after just one season with 17 episodes. After the show ended, Strimple continued acting until he died in 2006. The Road West was a family drama set in the American West that aired from 1966 to 1967. The show told the story of the Pride family, who moved from Ohio to Kansas in the 1860s, facing various difficulties. Barry Sullivan played Ben Pride, the father, and Catherine Hayes played his wife, Elizabeth. Other main cast members included Andrew Prine, Brenda Scott, and Kelly Corcoran. Despite its strong cast and interesting storyline, the show struggled with low ratings mainly due to competition from popular programs like Family Affair and The Felony Squad. The series was canceled after one season, ending May 1, 1967. Afterward, Barry Sullivan had a successful career in films and TV until he died in 1994, while Catherine Hayes became famous for her role on the soap opera As the World Turns. Lancelot Link, Secret Chimp, was a kids' comedy show from 1970 to 1971.
It is exactly 10 o'clock in the morning, and up in his apartment, top ape agent Lance Link is casually getting ready for his day.
It starred trained chimpanzees in spy adventures, with human voices added to their actions. The main character, Lancelot Link, was a secret agent for the APE, Agency to Prevent Evil, and fought against the evil group CHUMP, Criminal Headquarters for Underworld Master Plan. The show was created by Stan Burns and Mike Marmer, who had previously worked on Get Smart. The chimps performed stunts and wore costumes, making the show funny and visually engaging. Despite its popularity, it ended after one season due to the high production costs and difficulties with animal actors. Could a legal drama like The Jean Arthur Show have succeeded in a different era? Let's explore its brief yet interesting journey. The Jean Arthur Show was a legal comedy drama aired in 1966. It starred Jean Arthur as Patricia Marshall, a successful lawyer who worked with her son, Paul, played by Ron Harper. The show also included Leonard Stone as their chauffeur, Morton, and Richard Conte as Richie Wells, a former gangster with romantic feelings for Patricia. Despite Jean Arthur's popularity, the show struggled to attract viewers and was canceled after only 12 episodes. It aired from September 12th to December 5th, 1966. After the show ended, Jean Arthur returned to a quieter life, making occasional stage appearances before retiring for good. Ron Harper continued acting in TV shows and movies, including Planet of the Apes. It's About Time was a popular TV show from 1966 to 1967.
Drag!
Not drag!
Drag!
Not drag! New custom from Overhill. Sound good to Shad.
Created by Sherwood Schwartz, the show followed astronauts Mac McKenzie, Frank Alliter, and Hector Canfield, Jack Mullaney, who accidentally traveled back to the Stone Age. They met a cave-dwelling family led by Shad, Imogene Coca, and Gronk, Joe E. Ross, which led to many funny situations as they tried to adjust to prehistoric life. The show started with good ratings, but interest faded due to repetitive plots and the basic setting. The creators brought the Cave family to the 1960s to fix this, but the show was canceled after just one season. Frank Alliter continued acting in TV and films until he died in 2009. And Jack Mullaney had a successful career but passed away in 1982. Pistols and Petticoats was a Western comedy that aired from 1966 to 1967. The show followed the Hanks family, a group of sharpshooters living in the fictional town of Wretched, Colorado during the 1870s.
What is this? I'm not afraid of you. Or you. Or you either.
The family consisted of Grandpa Andrew, Douglas Fowley, Grandma Effie, Ruth McDevitt, their daughter Henrietta, Ann Sheridan, and granddaughter Lucy, Carol Wells. They frequently clashed with the town sheriff, Harold Sykes, Gary Vinson, who was jealous of their popularity. The series was initially well received for its mix of comedy and Western themes, but it was canceled after one season due to the death of Ann Sheridan from cancer in January 1967. Following the show's cancellation, Douglas Fowley continued acting until he died in 1998. The Smothers Brothers Show was a comedy series from 1965 to 1966.
I'm very fond of the Smothers Brothers, and now through the courtesy of the Smothers Brothers' mother, here is the Smothers Brothers.
It starred Tom and Dick Smothers, who were already well known for their nightclub performances. In the show, Tom played an angel in training sent to Earth to help his brother Dick, a young businessman. The show was created by Aaron Spelling, which combined comedy and fantasy. Despite the brothers' popularity, the series needed help with low ratings and disagreements between Tom and the producers about the show's direction. This tension led to its cancellation after just one season, with 32 episodes. It was also the final CBS sitcom filmed in black and white. Afterward, the Smothers Brothers achieved more success with the Smothers Brothers Comedy Hour, which became famous for its political humor. The Smothers Brothers' quick rise and fall begs the question, what made The Bold Ones a standout series? Let's explore. The Bold Ones was an anthology series aired on NBC from 1969 to 1973.
Be back about 4:15. Right, sir. Mr. Stowe? Yeah. Oh, that's all right. Somebody forgot to turn off the runway lights. Oh, no, they leave them running 24 hours when the smog sucks in.
The show was unique because it featured different segments, each focusing on a specific profession, such as law, medicine, and politics. The series included 4 main segments: the New Doctors, the Lawyers, the Protectors, and the Senator. The New Doctors followed medical dramas at the David Craig Institute for New Medicine, starring E.G. Marshall, David Hartman, and John Saxon. The Lawyers showcased courtroom stories with Burl Ives, Joseph Campanella, and James Ferrantino. The Protectors featured Leslie Nielsen and Harry Rhodes, focusing on police and legal conflicts. The Senator, starring Hal Holbrook, was praised and won several Emmy Awards. Despite its early success, the show ended in 1973 due to declining ratings and changing audience interests. Bright Promise was a daytime soap opera aired on NBC from 1969 to 1972. The show was set at the fictional Bancroft College, focusing on the lives of its students and staff. The main character was Thomas Boswell, the college president, played by Dana Andrews. Other key cast members included Susan Brown as Martha Ferguson and Paul Lukather as Professor Bill Ferguson. The show was known for engaging storylines including romance, intrigue, and campus politics. Over time, the focus shifted to the larger town of Bancroft, causing ratings to drop. The show ended after 605 episodes due to low viewership. Dana Andrews continued acting after the show and worked until he died in 1992. A Man Called Shenandoah was a Western TV series from 1965 to 1966.
And I don't know what you're doing here, and I really don't care because it's none of my business.
It starred Robert Horton as Shenandoah, a man who is shot and left for dead, only to wake up with no memory of his past. The show followed his journey across the West as he tried to find out who he was. The series was praised for its interesting idea and Robert Horton's strong acting. Despite its promise, it struggled with competition from other popular shows and failed to gain high ratings. After just one season, with 34 episodes, the show was canceled. Robert Horton, who had also starred in Wagon Train, continued his career in TV and theater until retiring. He passed away in 2016. The Tycoon was a comedy drama aired on ABC from 1964 to 1965. Walter Brennan starred as Walter Andrews, a wealthy businessman who used his money and influence to help regular people. Brennan, known for his role in The Real McCoys, brought his humor and charm to the role. Van Williams played his assistant, Pat Burns, who found himself in funny situations because of Andrews' strange behavior. The show was popular at first thanks to Brennan's star power and touching stories, but it struggled with ratings and was canceled after one season with 32 episodes. It was filmed in black and white, a format becoming rare at the time. After The Tycoon, Walter Brennan continued to act in films and TV shows until he passed away in 1974.